They hurt you and they walked away, but secretly, this is what they really want. Let me get my cards and I'll tell you what that secret is. I'll be right back. Do you want to know the funny thing regarding this is that as I was picking and choosing the cards, I wanted to laugh. And I think this laughter is not so much coming from them or the situation, because of course they hurt you, they walked away with no explanation, no anything, and you notice the sarcasm in that tone that just really came through very powerfully. But the funny thing that is making me laugh so much is that there's a curiosity with this reading, but at the same time it's like you've moved on, so it's like, who cares? And this is the funniest part of the whole thing of, why am I doing this reading? Curiosity. Maybe you do want to know, maybe you want to have the answers of why they walked away with no explanation, no U-turn, no messages after. It was literally like a cut, go. Kind of like 1 minute they're there, and next minute they've gone, completely out of your life in every context. So I kind of want to break it down in so it makes sense, rather than just kind of go into the blurb of, what it is for them. So for you, this is actually, as harshly as it was done, the follow on from that for you is a very positive, because you have moved on in your life. You may be in another relationship or have somebody of interest around you, but you're moving on to so much more positive, so much more abundance for them. And another question that's interrupting me before I continue is that you wanting to know, would this have worked with them? Would a relationship or something have worked with this person had they not walked away? The answer would have been yes and no. Yes, if they had been willing to do the work, which they gave you a lot of evidence in that they were not, and willing to do the work in terms of the relationship, but also in themselves, in curing their own past traumas and hurts and working through them, and in some ways matching up to your energy. I was going to say standards, but it's actually your energy, not so much your standards. Had they been, because you were there fully supporting them, you were there wanting them, wanting to be their support, wanting to not fix them, but be there to help them like you would if you were in a partnership. And the fact that they could not see that, or they saw that, but just found it too much hard work. The road for them, the road for you was smooth, because that's how you saw it. You've done your inner work. You were working through all of your crap and shit and everything else that you want to call it. But for them, they just saw a road of thorns. Not a road of thorns to get to you, but just a road of thorns regarding their life, because they have not been dealing with their crap and everything to do with their life. They've been storing it in cupboards, where they can't see it, people can't see it, hoping that it will never appear. But in order to get to you, in order to match into your energy, they had to begin to open up those cupboards. So therefore their road to you was full of thorns, because it was just too much hard work. Why did they walk away? Well, that kind of is one of the answers, that the too much work. It was too much hard work, too overwhelming for them to feel that they could be the person to stand next to you, to give you that support, that love. It wasn't about materialistic things, because you're independent. You've got, create your own, or are already there. But for them, it was just very much that on an emotional level, because nowadays that's more what we're seeking for rather than the financial support. We want more of the emotional support. We want the person to be turning up and showing up. They could not do that. And as a result, it was easier for them to run, because that's the pattern conditioning, comfort zone that they know to be in. And that's basically what they did. They ran. But what they are not secretly telling you, and again, it's not going to change. Let me just clarify this. It's not going to change the situation. Me revealing the secret to you is not going to bring them back into your life where I can say, yes, you're going to be a partnership, you're going to be in a relationship, because they know this, but they're not going to act on it. They're not going to do anything. Nothing is going to change. They're still going to be running. So, but the secret is maybe for you to get your answers and for you to be able to move forward, if you haven't already moved forward. Because as I said, this reading is probably so you don't live in the what if, and that you fully know that wherever you're moving onto, or whoever is your next person or is around you, is the best person for you. There is no, don't live in regret. The person in the past is gone. They chose it. That was their decision. But for you, it actually has brought so much more abundance and so much more positivity, because you have risen. Like a phoenix, you have risen and you have pushed yourself forward and you have dealt with the crap that's to come. So what's the secret that they have been hiding? They're still in love with you. And with that, I will end the reading. They very much are still in love with you, and probably will be for the rest of their life, because it's not that when they walked away they didn't know this. It's not that when they walked away that they didn't know what they were walking away from. It's just that they had that honest realization that they could not, or didn't feel inside of themselves worthy to stand next to you. And that's on them, nothing to do with you. Could you both have been a great couple? 100%. Absolutely 100%. Were they one of your soulmates? 100%. But a soulmate is only a soulmate if you're both doing the work and willing to go through that journey together. And they weren't. So they have now become an ex-soulmate because they have become a karmic lesson. Which you've learned, they're still learning theirs. So that's the secret that they, I won't say want you to know or don't want you to know, because I think you already know that within you, but here's your confirmation. They are in love with you. They always will be in love with you. They will only ever want good wishes for you. They will always live in regret. But they also know that you have fully cut the ties and moved forward. And as a result, their ego is never going to allow them back in, because their ego cannot handle that they were the one, that you were the one that cut the cord, that you were the one that cemented, sealed everything, the door, so that it can never be reopened in that context again. But that's something for them to live in. For you, your life is full of abundance, love, and everything that you wanted. For them, that's their journey, and that's something that they need to be processing and living with. I don't know why I'm adding this as a end of, because it kind of feels that it doesn't have anything to do with you. But if there is somebody who needs to hear it, then here it is. Will they find somebody else? 100%. Will they have the same happiness, peace, everything that they could have had if they were with you? No. But again, that's their choosing, that's what they want, and that's what they're heading for. So with all of those things said, if this has resonated, if you have got your peace and you feel your questions have been answered and you're no longer living in the what ifs, then please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. Anybody who wants a more detailed one-to-one reading, Links are in the bio, so you can make it more personal and ask as many questions as you want. And we also have a shop, so anybody wanting to manifest, wanting to have crystals, candles, jewelry, anything and everything to help them to just align their energy and keep that balance on a daily basis, hop along to our shop, and I'm sure hopefully you'll find something there that will be of aid. And with all of those things said, I'll see you next time.